What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Trevor back again on another video. And today, you see it, talk, man. We're going to have to go ahead and get into this because we see a lot of players get overrated just based off their name value. We get players that's still in their primes just because of their name value. We see a bunch of stuff just go unchecked just based off their name value. And we need to just get that in order right now. So yeah, my first example, we're just gonna talk about Russell Westbrook. We're not gonna just talk about his stance. We're gonna talk about everybody's stance. Curry stance, Russell Westbrook stance, James Harden stance. Everybody that thinks their favorite players is still in their prime in their 30s, which is insane to me. Because if that's the case, why did Steph Curry just get outplayed by Anthony Davis if he's still in his prime? Huh? If that's the case, I don't think folks think James Harden still in his prime. At least thank God they don't think that way no more. Russell Westbrook, I think if you ask the right one, folks actually think Russell Westbrook is still in his prime, which is insane to me. That's insane. And let's get into it. Folks really blame the situations of said players of why they underperformed, why they came up short, why they was injured, why this and that. Like, no, that's not the case. This certainly wasn't the case with Russell Westbrook, because Russell Westbrook, he played in a situation where him, who's a bad shooter, Andre Roberson, a bad shooter. He also played with Ibaka. He was just a mid-range shooter at the time. He wasn't even a three-point shooter. He played with Steven Adams, another non-floor spacer. Then with KD Love, who was basically the only spacer on the team, who was it, like Alex Abrines or something like that? Like, what are we doing? Is that spacing? No, that's not spacing. And the fact that they blame LeBron James putting him in the corner, even though he had the most time of possession with the ball in his hand, longer than LeBron. He had more touches than LeBron. Like, it just, all the ball handling stats favored Russell Westbrook compared to LeBron James. But LeBron James put him in the court, boo-hoo. Okay, then we go to the following year. New coach, new scheme, new role. Okay, so he played the six-man role. He did okay. Before he did okay. Probably, if you ask the right one, he probably did very badly. I said he did okay for the situation that was given. But it wasn't nothing spectacular because the Lakers wasn't winning games. They wasn't winning games. And the fact they blame spacing, it is a lazy take. It don't take basketball evaluation to say, oh, you put said person in the corner even though it don't take back. It take a quick film watch to just blow that out of the water. That wasn't the case. Russell Westbrook, who was known to get into the lanes, he got into the lanes effectively with the Lakers. Like, he's been doing it his whole career. He did it with Washington, he did it with Houston, he did it with the Lakers, he did it with the Clippers, he did it with the Thunder. Nobody's not questioning him getting into the lanes. It's about him finishing those attempts. He wasn't doing that no more with the Lakers. He was barely doing it with the Clippers. And with the Wizards, I believe he did a better job of finishing lanes with the Wizards and the Rockets. But as soon as he got to those two LA teams, his finishing at the rim fell off a cliff. And nobody knows why, because Russell Westbrook was supposed to be known as this slashing, attacking guard, one of the best playmakers in the league, and his athleticism was separation from the other guys in the league. But nope, they blame the situation. They still stick on his name value because he's a Hall of Famer. That's their number one cop out. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a top 30 player, top 10 guard. If you ask the right one, top 5 guard. It's all types of crazy stuff. I don't get that. Then we're gonna move on to James Harden. Now, James Harden, his situation is very unique because I believe he quit his way out of Houston Brooklyn, and now the Sixers. Now I'm going to tell you why I say he quit on Houston. Now, the Houston situation, they gave James Harden all he wanted. Now, Dwight Howard, I don't think he wanted him, but they made it to the Western Conference Finals in 2015 for a reason. Now, 2016 and the years out there, okay, fine. It didn't work. Okay? So we go Chris Paul. They win 65 games. They win 65 games. And guess what? Oh, this relationship can't be repaired. Yeah, Chris Paul injury prone. Let's get him out of here. Okay, fine. Then you get your friend, your homeboy, since little kids, Russell Westbrook. How did that turn out? You had to trade your big man and Clint Capella, who was doing fantastic for y'all throughout your whole run, to just fit Russell Westbrook into the system. And if folks tell me, oh, that just didn't only benefit Russell Westbrook, it's wrong. It's wrong. Because soon as Russell Westbrook started ascending after that Capella trade, what did James Harden performance start doing after that trade? It's no coincidence. Yeah, you can say, oh, it benefits the team overall, but in reality, it didn't. Because now you take away the pick and roll threat of James Harden game. He's already like in the NBA system. Dang, I can't even get it out. In the NBA system, Mike D'Antoni, they had him shoot mostly threes, probably all threes, right? And get into the cup. That's the only two things he was doing. The mid-range game, as soon as Mike D'Antoni got there, was eliminated completely. It was eliminated completely. Then you take away the pick and roll. Now, what you think is going to happen? He already see the most defensive attention in the league at that time. You can't run pick and rolls because nobody's really alive there no more. Clint Capella, Robert Covington, those are your big men. What they can't like roll and catch lobs like that. So yeah, and before James Harden left this situation, well, they tried to give him John Wall. They gave him Christian Wood, who was coming off a good season. They gave him DeMarcus Cousins, so he could be a good backup big man. But no. He said this situation can't be fixed. Okay, so let's go Brooklyn then. Okay, you, KD, Kyrie, y'all dominating the league, right? Number one seed. Wait, what are you number one seed? As I said, top 3 seed in the league. Yeah, there's nobody can stop you. You got the 3 best shot creators on the team. Nothing is going to stop this from not working. But in the regular season, James Harden basically like quit his way out of Houston, like, you know, being out of shape and having to play in shape. That caught up to him. And guess what? His hamstrings went out. Then the following year, he didn't properly recover from the hamstring because he had to try to play through it because Kyrie Irving got hurt. But, hey, it is what it is. And then you go into next season, he's lackluster. Then he got to the Sixers. He did good, but then got to the playoffs that same year, back to where he was with the Nets. Like, bad. Like, then folks have the audacity to defend this. Like, oh, yeah, he was justified in leaving this situation. Maybe the only situation I'll probably give you is the Nets and how the owner treated those players when he was there. That's the only situation I could probably give you. But the Sixers, like, why the Sixers? Why? Like, oh, because I didn't get the deal I wanted from Daryl Morey because I took a pay cut. You know the business. Nobody's your friend. I'm sorry. Like, Daryl Morey, yeah, like in hindsight, yeah, it's easy to say that now, right? But I still wouldn't trust these front offices with that type of situation at all. I just wouldn't. No, I just wouldn't. Especially you as a player, your decline athleticism, it just keeps going down, trending downward every year. Like, you can't. Your finishing at the rim has gotten worse. Your first step, like I said, that's part of what it's gotten worse. Like, it's hard for you to create shots. And you think a GM just gonna up and pay you? And guess what? His fans are justifying this because all they think Daryl Morey is the bad guy. No, he's not the bad guy. He see James Harden as a declined player, not going to be lasting too much longer. But fans justify this. They think he not the bad person. They think he's still a superstar type player. I think he's still a low tier star. Don't get it twisted, but he's definitely not a superstar. No matter what folks try to tell you, he's not a superstar no more. Those days were over in his MVP caliber season in Brooklyn. That was the last season we saw of MVP James Harden. MVP caliber James Harden. So we go to that. We go from them to the young guys. Now, this is unbelievable because Ja Morant and Trae Young are elite players. They are top 5 guards at their position. But the problem lies is where we got a guy like Jalen Brunson who had all-star, all-NBA type season, who did great in the playoffs versus a number 1 defense in the league versus the Cavs. And they had played the top 10 defense in the league in the Miami Heat. And he was able to get his game off. I think he averaged more points against the Heat than the Cavs. But it was still good efficiency. But, this is so disrespectful to compare Brunson and Trae Young. This is ridiculous. No, it's not. If you turn on the film over name value, the title of the video, film over name value, you will see this is not a crazy take. And folks that watch the game know Jalen Brunson can hoop. Is he the passer, the caliber passer of a Ja or Trae? No. Can he pass? Yes. If you turn on the film, he actually is a good passer. You can probably say a great passer. He can throw a lot of dribble passes with his left and right hand. He throw passes on the move. He throw a lot of passes. His anticipatory reads can be better, but bro, he's not on the level of Ja and Trae. That's okay, but he's still a good to great passer. Folks try to play him like this non-passer, bad, high turnover, low assist guy. It's just not the case at all. It's just not. Do I think Trae Young and Ja going to be better than clear Brunson and Fire? Of course I do. They are younger than Brunson. They're supposed to, stay in their primes longer than Brunson. Now that's what my problem is when folks put Brunson or these older type players in these young player conference. That's what I have a problem with, and that's the only problem. Now, for example, you say LaMelo Ball clears Brunson. No, he don't. You only saying that because of his name value and what has he done in the league on a bad team. Now, the bad team situation, that's not his fault. But, bro, come on. What are we doing? We haven't seen LaMelo in the playoffs yet. And he had injury real season. So, what were we supposed to do about that? Honestly, what were we supposed to do about that? Yes, LaMelo Ball, you can say he's probably one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Yes, he's better than Brunson. You can say he's better than Trae Young. You can say he's better than Ja Morant. Okay, that's cool. But to say he's a better, overall player, it's insane to me. The film don't lie. It don't lie. Trae Young, I think he had a good series against the Celtics. But his high turnovers was part of the reason that they lost. And Trae Young, playmaking, it's good. Trust me, it's good. It just his decision making at times is just very questionable. The passion he would try in certain moments, that's what it just, I don't know. It just get weird. Let's put it like that. Because I don't think he's a bad passer. It's just his decision making. And you can say the same with Ja Morant. Certain times, you just don't have to feel like you need to dunk on everybody. You just don't. You just make the right play. In that Greece, I think, what game was that? Was it game 4? It's either, Yeah, I think it was game 4 when they was about to tie the series up. Ja Morant could easily made the right play. I think it was like a Xavier Tillman or something. But instead, he tried to jump over LeBron for no reason at all, and he almost hurt himself again, which is the big problem with Ja Morant. And I get mad when folks say, "Oh, Ja Morant is this top 3 guard in the league, or top 3 to 5 guard in the league." But when you bring up player stats, they say, "Oh, who cares?" Like, then I saw something like a meme or something. Ja Morant is the father of the Timberwolves, even though he had a worse series than Desmond Bain in that playoffs, is insane to me. Very insane to me. But yeah, Jalen Brunson, he has an argument to be on the same level as Trae Young and Ja Morant as of right now. Not in 5 years, as of right now. We see it in the regular season. He should make the All-Star team. He should make the All-NBA team easily. He had a great playoff run against 2 top 10 defense. One of those being the #1 defense in the league. But folks, and we can go back to last year when he freaking had to step up with Luka being out, and guess what? He did just that. The Mavericks won 2 games, and that just led them to closing out the Utah series much earlier than they, was intended on doing. And then it didn't even put too much stress on Luka because he was able to come back, lead them to the Western Conference Finals. And Jalen Brunson, he had a good series the rest of the way, a good playoff run the rest of the way. But yeah, that's what led him to getting paid, which I said wasn't a bad deal. I was proven right. And long and behold, look at the conversation Jalen Brunson in. It's all about hard work. But Jalen Brunson don't have the name value of Trae Young or Ja, so it's going to be, or Tyrese Halliburton or LaMelo Ball. So it's going to be very hard for him to get in these tight combos right now. Yeah, I feel bad for well, I don't feel bad for Knicks fans. I don't, not at all, because they be overrating their players. But in this case, this is not an overrated player. Jalen Brunson is the real deal. He got good post moves. He got good counters to those post moves, up and unders, fakes, and he's a good 3-level scorer. So yeah, that was my thoughts. I just had to get that off because I just find it annoying when folks think like Jalen Brunson is not that guy. He's a small guard that can't make reads, which is false. That can't make the simple lob or skip pass, false. So yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring this up because this has been going around Twitter as well. This Austin Reeves and Jalen Green debate. And this go back to the name value point. Jalen Green, he's number 2 overall pick. Yes, he has potential to be probably the best guard at his position. Nobody's not denying that. But as of this current moment, Austin Reeves is better than Jalen Green. Is it okay to say that? Jalen Green right now is not a finished product. You can say Austin Reeves is more of a finished product than freaking Jalen Green is because he stayed in college longer. And that's okay. He's the better player right now. We got film on Austin Reeves in the playoffs. You could say is a one-hit wonder run. You can say that. That's fine. But my own eyes tell me, and the film say Austin Reeves' overall game, it can translate well in the playoffs. He's not this player that's relied too heavily on athleticism. He don't rely too much on his handle. Well, no, he don't rely too much on it. His handle is efficient. It gets the job done. He's one of the best passers on the team. You can say he probably the second best passer on the team. Him and Digo is fighting for that second spot. Don't know who's better than who though. Yeah, Austin Reeves, and he good 3-point shooter, good spacer. Yeah, if folks are surprised that he's doing good in the one game versus Puerto Rico, That so you waking up to him doing good versus Puerto Rico instead of him doing good against the Grizzlies, a top 3 defensive league or top 3 to 5 defensive league, the Warriors who just won a championship, who made like bad decisions in the offseason, but that was their fault. But it was still a cohesive unit on defense. And they played the Denver Nuggets, who was the eventual champions, and you could argue that Austin Reeves was the best player in this series. But it's such a problem that Jalen Green is worse than Austin Reeves. That, oh yeah, I will prove it to you. Oh, I can't wait till next season. Oh, this gonna be a special. Nobody's not saying he would never be better than Austin Reeves. Nobody said that. As of this very moment, Austin Reeves is better. So yeah, those are my final thoughts for real this time. Let me know if you guys like the video. Like, comment, subscribe. This is your boy Trill, and I'm out for real.